All right, I gotta get this link out to. Oh my god, you guys are quick. Yes, yeah, I'm just sitting here. Why am I so angry? Because I'm trying to figure shit out. All right, let me get the time fun one as well out so that people can see that. If you want to buy some of my time. So on time fun. Someone is actually okay, so just to start out with time fun. Last everything that I do on time fund goes to charity. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, I feel like an idiot. Everything that I do goes to charity. Looks like it's working on time fun. And last time we did it, we had like 300 bucks go to charity for the stream. So that's pretty damn cool if you ask me. Okay, cool. You can hear me. Looks like premium saltines in here. Nice. Welcome, sir. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's pretty sweet to see that like we can get some money going for charity through Time Fund. I also had someone actually buy half an hour of my time, and I'm meeting with them tomorrow, which is cool. So if you've accumulated time, I think you can spend it on getting a call with me, and all of that stuff goes back to charity as well, which is very cool. I'm actually gonna move the time fund chat over here, and then I'll make it look like I'm actually looking at you guys over here. Man, that looks crisp. Why do I look so crisp in the video? All right, let me make sure I can see you guys and y'all chat. Can't post comments, it's lame. All right, cool. So what should we start with today? So last time we did the session, I really tried to help people get to the point where they could build a good understanding of what vibe coding is, how does it work, you know, what is it good for, what is it not good for. We talked about starting with like really small discrete things and kind of little like tools or jigs, just like simple things that you want to build, and then using them as building blocks to build on top of. And last time we decided to build a dashboard that basically, yeah, I'm using StreamYard. We decided to use a dashboard to build a dashboard basically for review, a dashboard that's about review for review. And it was pretty interesting. Like in a couple hours, we were basically able to pull a full app together, take the app and put it onto a place where other people could go interact with it. And that's a crazy thing to be able to accomplish in just a couple of hours. And what's actually super sick about it is like it created good conversation. Like the scores weren't good. Some people were overvalued in farming, some people were undervalued in farming, but like we were able to basically take Ethos, integrate its API, and get a bunch of benefit out of it on the other side. And yeah, I mean that's just super cool. I want to teach other people how to get this benefit of like, wait, I want to try this, or I've always wanted to build something like that, and I want to help people understand how they can do it using something like Cursor. How the hell are there 144 people in this? All right, why don't we jump into it? I'll kind of show you. Oh, hold on, let me make sure it refreshes the stream because it did this last time. It's an old copy. Let me get back to this, or not. How do I edit this? Properties? Man, you guys are gonna watch me fumble this. Refresh, damn it. Settings? Why is OBS failing me? Come on. Clouds? It's just straight up not working. Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me stop the virtual camera. You might miss me for a second here and see the old famous OBS screen. Give me 1 second as I quit OBS, restart it. Absolute noob over here. We're gonna restart OBS now. We're gonna get this thing moving. Make sure no one's yelling at me. Let's start the virtual cam up again. See me now? Hello. Go back to virtual cam. Oh, look, it's refreshed. Okay, great. Okay, so this is the app that, yeah, it's the perk of doing it live. This is the app that we were building last time. I did add a little bit of stuff to it, but just so you remember some of the functionality, you can come in here, you can type a name. It doesn't always pull the right name because we didn't really polish that part. You can look at someone's profile and see the likelihood of how they might be doing review for review. I do, I've said it multiple times that like review for review isn't inherently bad, but it can be an indicator, and it can be sort of interesting to see on Ethos who is participating in the concept of review for review. And our goal was to basically say like, okay, in the event that someone was review for reviewing each other, could you create a score around it such that, like, how soon did they do that review after someone else did the review? How often are they participating in review for review versus getting external reviews? And so, yeah, one of the things that I've been trying to figure out is like, well, how do we refine this a little bit? How do we also make it more of a polished app? If we were thinking about things like social sharing, like, one of the things that Ethos is really good at is when you share a link on Twitter, it like makes a really nice card. So I think we'll be able to pull some of the product magic into a lot of the stuff that I have experience in with building products, that will help us build this app a little bit. Let's see is it gonna pull this up? Can you see that comment? If we're gonna edit the reviews off the course, the reason is AI captions no shame in accepting the mistakes. Unintentional though, as to keep mentioning until it's all swap. Will you edit the reviews? Yeah, I mean, there's no, what I would say in this case is like, there are people that are suddenly realizing that they're getting called out on Ethos a little bit for having reviews that are AI slop or look like R for R, whatever that might be. And I would say your best bet in avoiding that is removing those reviews yourself. If you don't actually know that person and don't feel like it's something that you've authentically created for someone else that says like, I trust this guy, or yeah, I know him from my Discord group, like I would be careful with that. I might consider removing that one. I wanted to show one thing that we actually built, that I built in the meantime, which is I wanted to bring like a leaderboard together. So in this leaderboard here, you can see we go to R for R leaderboard. This actually shows, who of the total profiles are potentially, the highest rate of R for R versus the lowest rate. I think it's only querying like 50. So we could add something like pagination here, which would be helpful. But yeah, I want this to be a very collaborative thing because I want to show you guys the power of how easy it is to be like, I have an idea. I want to implement that idea. How do I actually make it appear in front of me? And literally with cursor, you can do stuff like that. You can see in my cursor console, it does bad stuff too. And sometimes you don't know that. I had the idea of like being able to basically clear out the database. I wanted to clear out the database so that we started over again. And it just like made an open endpoint for anyone to clear the database. And I'm like, yep, that's not super smart. But it's okay because we're just learning. We're throwing shit at the wall. We're trying to go as fast as we can. We're trying to improve. I promise you guys, if you ask things in the chat, I will answer them. I will talk about them. I would be thinking about things that you want to see me build. What do you want to build together? So if we jump into it, one of the things that we heard a lot of feedback on so far is that a lot of these accounts, like it's not immediately clear that they absolutely are farmers. And one of the things that are farmers, it's really just like people that are review for reviewing. One of the things that I did to help, like at the very end of the call, Pedro helped me like think, well, maybe it's that we have quick reciprocation, meaning if someone reviewed someone and someone else reviewed them back, like what is the likelihood that, or like how often does it happen in a very short period of time? And so we actually measure that, and you can see like in some of these cases, like people are reviewing each other back in like 2 minutes, right? From the review to the review, it's within 2 minutes. And I thought that was really, like this one was within a 1 minute. And, I talk a lot about learning by shipping, that being kind of our mantra with Ethos. And like, we have such a large data set now that really the only way to really know how an algorithm is going to work well is you kind of ship it and see what happens. And so people have started putting pressure on that and be like, wait a second, I get an alert on my phone. And I'm like, yeah, I review that person back and you do it. And so is that always an indicator that like that person is abusing it? Potentially not. And so like I think one thing to think about is like how we might improve that part. Like, is reviewing someone back within a couple minutes actually something that indicates farming? What I've noticed though is when I look at some of these people, you've got this person here who right now currently has a very high score. When you go look at them in Ethos, you know, and you go to their given, you're like, man, 445 reviews given. Like, that's pretty serious. I added a thing here actually that says like the breakdown of this. And so right now, this person has written 15 reviews a day. So basically, since they joined 54 days ago, they've done it a pretty significant number of times. When I go look at this person's profile, they have eight, 10 people that have positively reviewed or vouched them that are exemplary. So like, obviously we talk a lot about ethos, like, yeah, well, local reputation versus global reputation, but like, that's a pretty big sign. And so what I've been doing just to kind of like test it and be like, do I think this person is like doing something net negative? Well, one, they haven't written a review in a month except this one. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, these reviews don't really come off as authentic. And I realized as we were talking about it, it's like, well, is it authenticity? What exactly is it that we're trying to understand from what we are building? And so I have kind of gone through some of these and gotten a better idea of, okay, like, yeah, it looks like it could be right, or it looks like it might not be right. But I still think there are a lot of false positives that we have. And so as I continue talking, one of the things that I just want to quickly ship is I noticed earlier that this doesn't have pagination. And so basically we have this API that's returning right now to display this that's only showing 50 results. And so what I'm going to do is my first like kind of vibe coding thing as I wait for some people to drop in. And by the way, the only chats that I'm looking at right now are Twitter and Time Fun. So if you're like messaging me on Discord, I won't see it. I'm going to add a prompt in here, and give me 1 second because I realized the other day that like I'm covering the prompt up a little bit. Let me like make myself smaller. Goodbye. And then let's pull this up a little bit so that you can actually see the prompts up here. So one of the prompts that I'm going to do, I still have all of the context kind of loaded in here. And of course, I'm just like literally sharing my env file like an idiot. What we're going to do is say, I want to add pagination to the leaderboard page. Actually, I'm not even going to describe that. I'm just going to say, I noticed that the leaderboard page, you don't have to know what pagination is. I noticed that the leaderboard page is only showing 50 results. I want to be able to sort through and sort by column and look at all of the results of the leaderboard. How can I do that? And the reason that I am trying to describe it this way is I want to show people that like you really genuinely do not know you don't have to know what pagination means. If you're like sitting here looking at it and being like, wait a second, there's only 50 results. Why is that? You can just go like, I know a little bit more, so I can say back, oh, I think it needs pagination. But you can just go back to it and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll add column sorting and pagination. And as you'll see, what it's doing here is it's just starting to go through it and look at how we're connecting to the database and start doing all the functions. Okay, let me go look at some of the chat real quick. I want to ask about the age penalty on Twitter. Is it permanent and does it decrease over time? So this is just a general question on Ethos overall. It decreases over time. There's 2 bumps, one at 90 days and one at 365 days. So once you get to 90 days, you'll get much less bump, and then 365 days, you'll remove that last bump. Here we go. What if we added a section for content efficiency and usefulness? So, one of the things that we had actually added in the product as we're generating generating our pagination over here, is we actually added this like function in the bottom called insights. And what we are doing in this example is we're actually looking at it and passing it to an LLM and saying, okay, like AI, how good do you think of a review this is? How authentic do you think it is? Does it sound like it's someone that wrote it for someone else? And people have basically figured out how to gamify that. And in this example, you can see like most of this guy's reviews, they look pretty good. Oh, these are reviews for him. If you go back to Given, they look pretty good. And so we do look at the content efficiency. We look at how authentic is something like these reviews that are getting written, and we can kind of get a gauge for it. But what happens is because people are using AI to write these reviews, it's not like it's not the highest signal. The signal is not super clear. And so if you look at, man, it's taken a while to add this pagination, but I'm excited for it. If you look at all of these and just kind of flick through them, I mean, most of them look good. And of course, there we go, I'm bugging out. 16 upvotes, 75% AI quality. Like, it's kind of hard to basically use that. I think one of the main things we've gotten a lot of feedback on is like, well, why don't you just like detect if it's AI or not? Well, AI is not the easiest thing to detect from other AI. We as humans can see it very easily. You see like EM dashes, and then as you're like scrolling through it and see the patterns. I mean, to be clear, this is actually all in Chinese since we translate it in real time. It's a little bit harder to see. But yeah, most of the actual AI reviews, they look very structured similarly. And so like, I feel like you as humans, we can kind of build that understanding a little bit easier. Man, it's still oh, it's done. But that is something that we could try to add. We could add our own LLM prompt if we really wanted to. So that could be a direction that we go. Bolt asks, are you using cursor on the right for vibe coding? Yeah, absolutely. So two things that are really important here. I use cursor. People have used Claude Code. I have never gone down the Claude Code route yet. I like to use cursor, and I always put it in both agent mode, and we use Claude 4. I don't use Max. I only use Claude 4 because Claude 4 is really where the innovation has happened in the past like that past month or so. Okay, so this is now telling me like, hey bro, we got it working now. Let's go take a look at it. And I'm not gonna lie, it was faking me out a little bit last night when I was trying to vibe code on it. So let's see how good of a job it did. We asked it, hey, why am I only getting 50 results? Well, now it's loading 100 results at a time. And there you go. We got some pagination. So I can click to the second page now. And it looks like they've tried to add some little things here. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of sorting. And I know there's a lot of things that people on like on the regular Ethos app want to be able to sort by. But I could come in here and sort theoretically. I hope it works. I have no idea. Yeah, there you go. It's going to sort by the number of quick reciprocations. So yeah, I mean, like you get a little bit more insight here if we go look at Yao Yao's review, 153 of them within 30 minutes. Again, I don't want to like endorse this as negative insight. I would just say this is us trying to analyze and understand data more. But I mean, I want to take a step back and acknowledge like, holy shit, it literally it did pagination and sorting in like 3 minutes. Like I didn't even describe it as pagination. I said, what did I say? And it did a lot of stuff. I said basically like, come on, man. Something that's hard to find through. I noticed that the leaderboard page is only showing 50 results. I didn't describe the solution. In fact, it's almost better when you don't describe the solution. You just describe the problem. And it's pretty fascinating to see how quickly it's able to pull this together and add this ability for us to sort by all these things. One thing of note is like this is local for me still. And if you want this stuff to be live, you're obviously going to have to, and you're using Dino like we set up last time, you're going to have to actually push stuff out. Oh, it did. Yeah, so this should be live. You guys could go play with this right now. It actually added this to get added. So if we actually go to ethos-r4r.dino.dev, it didn't push it yet. So it might have gotten caught up in the deploy. Oh, that's still working. It might just be deploying right now. We'll see. But yeah, like I'm still working on everything locally for the most part. I don't actually really care to make it public yet because I don't feel that good about the results yet. This will help me though. I'm really excited about the fact that we now have this sort because I can go through and not just validate like the top end or like the 100% people, but like let's go look at some of the other people. Let's find someone that has a little bit more that people know and know of. I don't know that I think that reputation is always that you have lots of external people reviewing you and you don't review them back, but it can be somewhat of an indicator. Let's say let's look at maybe someone that doesn't have 0, but someone that has we'll do Adam from OpenSea. So Adam has received 91 reviews. Adam has 4 that he's returned. And so again, it's like it's not like this finite thing, like absolutely true that people on either side of the spectrum are using R for R in wrong ways. But you can kind of see how oh, okay, yeah, Adam has a ton of people that are reviewing him that aren't people that he is reviewing back. Adam is not sitting in a chat right now saying, review me, review me, review me. I'll review you. I'll review you. So there is some signal indication. I don't know that it's totally accurate yet, but it is nice that we have that sort that we can kind of go test some of those things. Let's see if there's another big name down here. Oh, it jumps pretty quickly. Let's use Buzz here, one of the active community members, who is also building stuff. So yeah, Buzz has 97. The people that wouldn't really know Buzz, he is reputable on the platform. Yeah, we're looking through it. Yeah, he has a lot of reviews, but he's also got other people that are reviewing him, and he's also. I think one of the other things that we aren't accounting for is how many reviews have they left for other people. I've noticed that the R for R farms, they're almost exclusively only reviewing each other and reviewing no one else. Okay, let me catch up with chat a little bit here. Let's see. So do you have a percentage? Let's show it. Do you have a percentage that you vibe code? And how much do you manually code it? So yeah, one of the things that I've been trying to help people understand is that I am 100% vibe coding everything here. Everything that I do right now is vibe coded. I am not writing any code. And that's what I'm trying to help people understand is that you can without a doubt write code without knowing how to write code. And so I would go out of my way to say, you can do this. You don't need to know how to edit any of these things. In fact, I believe there is a future where we're basically we don't give a shit about what the code is. Like the code is completely meaningless. Like we are just writing and describing how we want the thing to work. The most that I ever write anything would be like editing the env file or whatever it might be. And so yeah, like I would say 100%, and I try to go 100% because I want to show people how to do that. Someone says regarding AI text structure, there's one thing to note. Also trend to slightly alter the structure when you run a text through the translation. You can see in this very messaging. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's like there are ways that we as humans can do it, but AI is not very good at determining it yet. Joined late. Is this being recorded? Always recorded. Yeah, go on YouTube after this. Hello, Denver. Hello, Sabiolo. Ian, a bunch of names I've never seen. This is awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. I got a score of 100 out of 100, but why are you considering me a farmer? Hey, I changed it last night. I noticed we called it farming, and I don't want to set anyone in the wrong light. It's called the R for R score. It does not mean that you're farming, and I want to ensure that people don't think that I'm trying to out anyone here. This is trying to be an analysis that's objective, that looks at certain behavior on Ethos, and that behavior that's currently getting attacked often is this R for R thing. I apologize that you have a score of 100 for 100. If you could pop in the chat why, what do you think about your behavior that is absolutely not R for R? We can figure out how to refine it using your feedback. So Sabio, I definitely recommend that you share that. Have you tried OpenAI's Codex? I haven't. I don't even know what it is. I'm a noob when it comes to new stuff, honestly. Actually, we all know each other. It's normal, and we give each other reciprocal reviews. Yes, I agree, and that's why again I tried to take the word farming out of it because I don't necessarily know that it's farming. What I have tried to explain to people again is like I basically explicitly tell people you should go review people that you know. Reviewing is good. The issue, Saviola, is whenever you review a bunch of people that you don't know, and there are times when we look at people's profiles, if we go back to here and look at the profiles, and we look at someone, I'm going to pick someone at random. I promise this is not a slight at anyone. 155 reviews and 125 back. That means that there are 125 people that you supposedly know that you've written a review for. And I don't think that that means that you are farming or doing anything bad. I think it is a potential indicator that you are doing something that groups you with a bunch of other people that are explicitly farming or that are explicitly abusing the system. And I don't, that nuance is always going to be hard to get right. And this is why Ethos is designed as it is. It's meant to be a product that uses consensus. People can say, I think that person is definitely a farmer on a slash. If you get slash and people are like, no, this person isn't a farmer, we use the results of the slash. And so this is input. It's not necessarily the answer. And we can improve this overall, again, as we do this together. Feels like we're living in the future. Biggest issues encountered while vibe coding. Sometimes it just gets stuck. Sometimes it just like, it goes down this path and it's like trying to get something to work. And this is where experience helps of like, last night I noticed it would just like spin up new instances of Dino deploy locally. And it would literally just like do it 10 times. And so I'm like running 10 local instances of Dino. And it doesn't like your computer's not designed to work that way. Like they will start conflicting with each other and get mad at each other and stuff. And you're like, come on, Claude, like you should know not to do that. And so you have to instruct it sometimes. I'd say like sometimes you just get in sort of like a weird loop. I would say if you ever find yourself walking down a path and you're like, why is this not working? Like I just keep slamming my head against the wall and it's not working. Just back up. Like you can go up here in cursor and you can click like, I'm not going to do this, but you can click like this button and it will back everything back up and or not the send button. There's another button up here and it will just like undo everything. And I would definitely recommend that. So if you get into that problem, I would 100% recommend trying to back up. If a known friend reviews me, with that, I come to realize he is also an Ethos, and I will make sure to review him back. It should be called R for R, to be honest. Quality of review matters more than time taken to review back. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's one of those things like, I think that people that are reviewing each other back and forth are doing the right thing. And I said that publicly. And I've noticed that sometimes when I do things like put text in red, or put risk level high, it freaks people out a little bit. And I get that. And I have to be careful with it because I am very much trying to take this approach of like, hey, we're just trying to learn from the data together. And I understand that I'm in a different position being a co-founder of Ethos. Like, hey, I'm not prescribing these things. We're just trying to learn from them. So yeah, I think we can talk through some of that today and see if we can figure out how to understand that nuance better. If I follow the logic, only influencers end up with squared scores. I don't think that that's true. Okay, I love the feedback, guys, but I think we're kind of fixating on the current solution or the problem. Let's talk about how we can fix this with vibe code. We've only sent one vibe coding thing. I want to share how to vibe code, right? Like, what do you think we should change? Akshat or Saviola or any of these guys? Like, if you have ideas, let me know. How should we change them? What would you want to change and understand more? If we took someone in the middle or just take someone from the audience, I don't know. I guess it's Saviola 57. Let's look at yours. Saviola 57. There we go. What kind of PFP is that? Yeah, okay, so you've received 48 reviews and you've given 43. We go look at your profile. I'm looking at some of the names. I don't recognize them myself. You've got people vouching for you. You've got people talking about being an ordinal collector. Like there's some good signals here, right? Doesn't necessarily indicate some sort of like high farming. So how would we improve this? Like, what would we do in this scenario? How would you change this? Like right now, you have 43 out of 48 reviews reciprocated. That means 5 people have reviewed you outside of the people that have reviewed, like outside of the people you reviewed. You have a pretty high number of them, which is one multiplier that we have. And then, yeah, you have 12 days old account and you've written 48 reviews in 12 days. Like, it's not necessarily, again, like, I don't want to say like, oh man, like this guy, you're absolutely a farmer. You're absolutely R for Ring. But we know that like this is a pattern that resembles other people that have gotten slashed in the past. So how do we understand that nuance? How do we get the nuance out of it? You haven't reviewed you reviewed abstract, it looks like. But you mostly just reviewed other people. And so that's one of the other things that kind of stands out to me. There's nothing that is like super obvious to me that like I can edit here. So I'd be curious if you have thoughts. Okay, let's do carpenter. Man, we really got to get back to like actually vibe coding something. Let me just do one quick thing. Like one of the things that I noticed is that we're not showing what the review is and if it's positive or negative. So let's just change it to show under the profile page when we're looking at a user. I'd like to show if the review is positive or negative. Right now, we're just showing review. The pill, like the little circle thing, should also reflect if it was positive or negative. In the event that 2 people negatively reviewed each other, this is a piece of feedback we got, that should not count as R for R. And I like to add context so that Cursor has a little bit better of idea of like why you're like trying to describe it to the dev, like why you're trying to do this. That's because we're really trying to measure when people are abusing their score. People are trying to positively impact each other. Okay, so let's just let it go. Let's see. Okay, so Saviola had an idea as we let this rip. Maybe you should consider adding a criteria that look at someone's Twitter activity, like whether they've been engaging with others over the past 6 months. Yeah, this is actually something that we've thought about doing on Ethos itself. It's something that I think could be really valuable to show that real authentic engagement. One of the other like qualitative things that I often look at, and again, it doesn't really mean anything, it's just additional insights, is I'll go look at someone's Twitter. What do they post about? I'm not logged in here, so this is not going to be helpful. These are old tweets because Twitter is annoying and doesn't let you do anything. But yeah, like I try to go look at people's tweets and say like, okay, like qualitatively, subjectively, does this look like someone who is like tweeting about lots of good content, or are they kind of trying to focus more on certain specific types of things like giveaways, or are they focusing on the white lists and stuff like that? I think what it would be really interesting from your take would be like, one, we can't do this, just to be super clear, because it's extremely expensive from Twitter. One, are the people that are following you, are the people that you reviewed you, are you following each other? Like, Did you even follow each other on Twitter? 2, yeah, do you engage with them? So, I mean, I think there is something that is very complicated, so it would make it pretty difficult to do. Did you vibe code this from Zero and Cursor? Yes. So the first episode of this I put on YouTube. I started from complete scratch. I think it's really important to actually start from scratch, and I think we're moving back to a world in developer land where like we do lots of like really discrete and small things. So I would highly recommend considering starting something completely from scratch. Go watch like the first 10 or 15 minutes of the last video I have, and you'll see how I kind of set things up. It's a lot harder for Cursor to like really understand some of the things like existing code bases because it's just a lot of context to load in. So I would always start from scratch, and I honestly I like to like build things and then just kind of like throw them away. Not actually, like I think the art for artboard is kind of interesting. I think one of the things that you've seen, if you like pay attention to like what Ultra does, Ultra that did Laudio, he's built a lot of different leaderboards, and I've talked to him about this concept of vibe coding and kind of building these things. He's so good at like, I'm just going to throw something together in a leaderboard. I'm just going to build something super quick and make it valuable and try to, I mean, he'll just put his ref link to, Axiom or whatever in there and he'll make a little bit of money on it. And so what my belief and why I want people to like learn how to do this is like, there's an opportunity to make money by building stuff now. Like we've lowered the barrier of entry for coding. Let's go to the next one. Easy, bro. He's married. Oh, who said something? Okay, cool. Well, it does look like we now have our code. And so, yeah, again, just like magic, I asked it to do a bunch of things. Of course, I'm going to say, just like magic, the classic demo is that it never works when you go to demo it. Let's give it a try. Let's look at Lord. Okay, we'll look at this guy. Oh, that's not like my admin account. Let's pull up Christian. What work? Oh, all right, let's just look at this guy. Fucking. Okay, so wait a second. We told it to make the review type positive or negative, and I don't see that update here. What's going on, man? So I told it to make some updates. It says it was going to change these. It said it was also going to remove and change the logic. And it was going to change the behaviors, but I'm not seeing that here. Let's just try it one more time. Pull my profile up. Yeah, what the hell, man? I'm not seeing it. Okay, so what I suspect actually happened is I have a feeling that it dev task. Huh. I suspect that I'm looking at an old version of this. But again, I want to go back to like, let's say that you know nothing and you're like, what the hell? You told me that you changed this and you didn't. So what I always do is I'm like, I took a screenshot. Here's a screenshot of what I'm seeing. I don't see the positive or negative reviews like you said, like you said you were going to change. I also kind of like, I try to do this, like I try to include like, I'm looking at this page and I like link it. Let me just again screenshot that so it has the context. It's honestly really good with like looking at screenshots and getting context. Okay, Anwar says, nice idea of checking. Yeah, this is literally how I work though. I like send it and just forget about it for a second. So it works well for streaming. Nice idea of checking Twitter account. We're the ones who are posting content and talking about hype projects. Can throw the real ones. Yeah, I agree. It's just something that's really complex. It requires a lot of data. Oh, look, now it's changing. What does it say? I can see that the review fields are still just showing review. I can see the issue. It's so confident. Code is already using it. So that's just, it's falling back. I'm guessing it's not getting the data from Ethos correctly. Yeah, if you're not familiar, we're interacting with the Ethos API. So we're basically going to Ethos's API, developers.ethos.network. I've given it the context of the API. And it's actually like going and testing the API itself to see like, wait a second. Yeah, I thought it would be in this field called content rating, and it's not. That's stupid. So it basically can do entire things like, hey, I realize there's an issue. The data wasn't in the format that I thought it was going to be in. I'm going to go test that now. And now I know, like it goes the full like length and now is confident coming back into it of like, yeah, absolutely. Like I screwed up, man. And so it's updating now. I always link people to this. This is our API. You can use the API pretty pretty easily to get oh, I know that would remind me of another idea I had. It's very easy to just kind of pass it the context of this API. So if you're trying to build something on Ethos, you can just go boom, here are the developer docs, copy, paste it into cursor, send, and it's like cool, I looked at the website and now I know all the context. Okay, so I'm still letting it go. Sometimes it does hang a little bit. We'll see what happens. One of the other ideas that I had, and what people were giving me feedback on, is like, okay, that's really interesting. Oh yeah, we didn't even show score here. We should be showing people score next to it. People will be like, oh, that's really interesting that like they have high score, but are are these people like getting XP for this? Like because they wrote, a bunch of reviews? Like it seems like they're able to get one side of the like ethos incentive structure. Are they also getting the other side of the ethos incentive structure and XP? And so we can actually use like, you can pull everything for XP wise from our API. So one of the things that I might also do would be, let's get the total XP across all seasons for a particular user, and we can throw that in this board. Okay, it seems more confident that it fixed it now. Let's go take shit. Let's go take a look at Rajib's account. Boom! There we go. Look at this. Oh, and it's perfect. Look at it. Look at all the stuff that it did for me. Okay, so now it finally did it. You can see we changed these things here. They're showing positive, negative. You can see in this exact example, this was one of the things that we got feedback on. Is like 2 people reviewed people negative. That shouldn't count. And so it's just like, I don't know why I chose an umbrella. It's a weird icon to choose, but it chose an umbrella icon for excluding it. Is that an umbrella? I have no idea what that is. And so now, yeah, you can get a little bit of a better idea of like which way were the. I mean, like when I look at an account like this that has left a lot of reviews, I feel like they are less explicitly doing R for R, which I think is helpful. But yeah, I mean, like what I'm really trying to show you guys is like I prompted it 2 things and it wrote all of this code for me. I didn't say use this icon. I didn't say use this color. I didn't say, don't show no received review received when it's there. It's doing a lot of this stuff for me, which is crazy. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, and please guys, if you have ideas and want to bring them up, definitely. Yeah, any good MCPs you'd recommend? Yeah, I'm using the Neon database. I don't have the MCP on this, but Neon database within the MCP with Cursor means that Cursor can actually go talk to your database very easily and interact with it, which is very cool. I would definitely recommend that one. We've talked about potentially doing one for Ethos too, which would be cool. Okay, so the next quick one that I wanted to do, which shouldn't take long at all, is I want to show total XP. Oh, total score and total XP. So I'm going to say on the leaderboard, I want to add 2 new columns. They should be sortable. And they should be Ethos score and Ethos XP. Now, I could just say, YOLO, you got to figure it out for me, Cursor. Like, I hope it works. But instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to actually bring in, I am going to bring in the APIs because I know I have a little bit better of an understanding of what APIs to use. So I'm going to tell it, hey, we want to get the total XP for all users across all seasons. And honestly, I'm not even going to like screenshot it. I am going to screenshot it. I'm not even going to describe it. I'm like, I have attached the XP API to use in a screenshot. And what else did I say? Score. Yeah. And we want to get score by, it should know how to handle user key. User key is like a thing in Ethos. It's kind of hard to explain, but Cursor can resolve a lot of that stuff for you. XP API to use in the screenshot, as well as the get score by user key. I also want to color code this. 0 to 799. Oh, color code this. Yeah, it should be red. 800 to 1199 should be yellow. This is just going in line with the scores that we have in Ethos. Be neutral. 1600 to 1999 should be green. Neutral. Black. Green. No. Oh, God. I've got it all backwards. Blue. 2000 to 2399 should be green. This is just, again, the scores that I have. Should be purple. For I should describe it a little bit. I also want to color code the scores so that you can easily distinguish them. Okay, so now I'm going to let that thing rip, and let's see if we got any good questions in the chat about it. Thank you, Carpenter, for saying that's slick looking. I did not design it, which is the coolest part. I talked about MCPs. Saviola goes back to like, the more smart followers someone has, the more trusted they are. I think we're thinking about a bunch of different ways to measure that on Ethos. I'd be curious, Saviola, if you would enlighten me on how many smart followers you have and if you think that would help your score. Smart followers is currently protected by the Kaido API, so that's not something that's public, unfortunately. So I can't do it in this demo. I have to pay to get smart followers. Yeah, that's only one limitation. I did miss Carpenter. You had a question up here. Serp, you're talking to Cursor the same way my wife talks to me when I don't do items on the honeydew list. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be rude to your AI agents. You don't know who's going to run the world in the future. And if we're building something that is based on accountability, you might be accountable for one day. You might feel like you're accountable for all the messages you sent in your Cursor chat. So be careful. Be thoughtful about how you treat agents, man. Let's see. So it's making new APIs. Any other like things that people are thinking about that they want to see here? You can see it's actually probably kind of doing it in real time. So it's going to like fail occasionally and then reload. You can see it's, if you really care about the code, it's making a new TypeScript file for interpreting Ethos scores, another one for interpreting XP. So yeah, we're using TypeScript. We're using Dino and Fresh. You don't need to know any of those things. It's cool. You don't have to know shit. You just be like, it's literally, now I can't remember his name. It is the most like, close your eyes and just like dream whatever you want to dream. Be confident in your querying and don't be afraid to be like, hey, I have no idea how this works. It'll work still. That's how vibe coding works. Now, as it goes through it, I want to caution it because I saw Saigar tweet about like, this is never going to replace senior devs, and that's not the point, in my opinion. Maybe one day it could replace senior devs. That feels pretty distant for me. What this does to me, and what I think people should be catching on to is like, you have lowered the barrier of entry to write code and apps to 0. You can see me prompting right now without knowing. I mean, I know a little bit more than the average person, but like, it doesn't take writing code. It takes conversing with an agent. A lot of people ask about cost, and I think I put in my original guide, like, I just tried not to think about the cost too much. And usually don't spend more than $100, I think, on Cursor, which is not crazy. I mean, to be honest, I treat it like it's a video game sometimes. It's just so much fun to play with this. Like, I would happily play for this video game. And the efficiency you get is insane. The efficiency improvement of vibe coding is like you can't even quantify it. Like these things, making this by myself when I was like a CS student graduating college 12 years ago. This would have taken me a month. Like it would have taken me so long to build something like this. And now I'm just like talking to a cursor agent and it's happening. So don't worry, try not to worry about the cost. Like there is an edge. I think about it like trading. If you're not familiar, I also run a hedge fund and I think about things in terms of trading and finances a lot. And there is an edge to be had if you're willing to get that edge right now. Not a trading edge. It could be a trading edge actually. Because you can write things like smart contracts or code that is observing things that are happening on the blockchain and trying to make money with them. There is an opportunity to get an edge and be early in this space. If you can learn how to vibe code today, it like Ultra knows what he's doing, but Ultra is a really good example of just popping something up, letting it rip and seeing what happens. And he's making money on ref codes. He's making money on all kinds of stuff. It does look like I hit the limit. So sometimes you'll be like, hey, I stopped after 25 tool calls, so I'll keep going. So I click resume here and let it keep running. It usually stops after 25. You can also see, I tweeted like a week ago, like holding like an 11-month-old baby and like really vibe coding. I'm not writing any of this stuff. It's just happening. That's pretty cool, right? Like you can actually do other stuff. You can work out and vibe code. You can be on a meeting and vibe code. You can do all kinds of stuff while you're vibe coding. In fact, I've gotten to the point where I have two desks here, and sometimes I'll go back and forth between two desks or two cursor windows, just like throwing stuff and seeing what works. Again, I'm not writing to the core Ethos user, the code base. I do sometimes, but like I am almost exclusively going and writing net new things, little tiny jigs, little tiny tools that we can use. So it looks like, I wonder if it's not saving it. So every time I do the leaderboard, I'm actually saving it. So if I go to this guy's profile, I wonder if it will load his score and then save it. I do want to say, can we also show this information at the top when looking at an individual's profile and ensure we're, yeah, an individual's profile. Actually, let's just go back. Let's fix the thing that we're supposed to do. Okay, it is saying that it's saving it. Let me refresh this now. Oh, so it got his XP. It's only whenever I go look at someone's profile. So what's happening is like the way that I had structured it is I didn't want to go through every single Ethos user and just pull them all in at once. I wanted to like do it on the fly. So if you looked at it, it would calculate the score and then it would save it. And so what's happening now is as people are clicking around, at least locally, it's saving and looking it up and saving how much score each of these people have. I think I'll change that because it's pretty easy. Yeah, I think we can change it. So I'd say on the leaderboard, I'm not going to describe this problem like I understand it. I'm going to describe it like anyone would understand it. On the leaderboard, I noticed that the contributor XP is not loading unless I click into the user's profile. Can we load the score automatically or XP automatically when we're viewing the page? Now, there's going to be some devs out there that are like, bro, don't do that. Like, that sounds bad. This is bad architecture. You shouldn't mess with that kind of stuff. You should be saving it every time or at least caching it because you kind of want to usually minimize the amount of queries you're doing. But who cares? This is just throwaway code. Can we load the XP automatically when the user opens the page? I also noticed that we are not getting the score correctly and everyone is still showing 0. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be plenty of cases where like you describe something, it took 5 minutes to do it and it didn't actually do what you wanted. Okay, let's zoom back up. Seeing a green lantern, yeah. Just a quick check of the leaderboard and found myself at number 13. Is giving reviews for brands, founders, or influence considered as farming? No. This isn't a farming leaderboard. And that's the thing that I'm trying to help people understand is this is the, hey, what is the likelihood that this person, or not even the likelihood, like it's just an observation of data in that there are some people on the platform that are doing lots of review for reviews. They're doing lots of, I review you, you review me back. And this is attempting to look, it did it already. This is attempting to highlight that information. It is not attempting to say this person is bad or this person is farming or this person is doing something that's not negative. It's just trying to help people understand and get a general idea of, okay, like who should I look into? Are they potentially farming? Is this a real person? Like, why do they look like that? And so it's analysis of data as opposed to a suggestion that anything is wrong. Hopefully people can kind of get that. Do you use any vibe coded features in the core Ethos platform or only for designing features on top of it? I would tell you that I have vibe coded stuff for Ethos before where I pretty much exclusively just vibe code and it doesn't work very well. I usually do have to actually interact with the code. I need to go and say, you tried to do this thing and, you tried to do this thing and you didn't quite do it right. And so it's not perfect. So I do depend. You need to be like a junior dev to really do it in like a big code base, in my opinion. Also, the other devs will look at my code and be like, "Yeah, that's shit." Or like I wrote like the leaderboard homepage that we updated with like all the images on it, and I mostly vibe coded that. And yeah, like a week later, we were like rewriting all the database queries because they're completely inefficient. So I would limit the scope for now to like stuff you feel comfortable with starting net new. Do you limit the agent pushing to get? This is a great question if you really know what's going on too. I don't just prescribe it here. I haven't prescribed it here. It looks like it's still not pulling the Ethos score. Looks like we're getting XP now, but I don't see the score on the fly. I'm still seeing zeros. Do you limit against pushing against get? Yeah, so it's nice to automatically push to get sometimes. The issue with pushing to get, and it's solvable, and like actually Cursor is really good at understanding what get does and how to reset get. The nice thing about pushing to get automatically is it usually pushes your code automatically too. And so it'll run a GitHub action and it'll actually deploy it on Dino. And then you can see your code live for other people. It's not just like running locally. But sometimes if you get into a place where you like go down a really long route and it's just committing get the whole way, it can get kind of messy to back it out if you ever need to back stuff out, especially if you're doing stuff with the database. So I don't, especially when you're doing stuff early on. If you're not familiar with get is just a way to kind of keep track of what's changing in your code base. You don't really need to know a lot about it, to be honest. And this is one, like, it sounds crazy, but like get is one of those things that's just going to get obfuscated into the background over time. Smart followers use criteria. Yeah, like I said, smart followers is protected by the Kaido API. I don't know how much they charge to get smart followers. Yaps is the only thing they have a public API for that is free to use. So yeah, like I do think smart followers could help. But again, like that becomes really expensive data. And the reason it's expensive data is because they're paying a fortune for it too. Okay, so here we're running into some issues. It's like, yo, it's working as expected. I'm loading XP. I'm handling the score. Most users, it's like so confident. Most users don't have scores. You a liar. Like you are lying to me, Cursor. The reason you're seeing these scores is normal. Most scores users don't have scores yet. The API returns 404 for users without scores. So this is a really good example. I'm kind of glad it happened. If like sometimes it's going to lead you down a bad path. And if you don't really know what's going on, it could really lead you down a bad path. Like this is where you have to go back and like, I gotta back this shit out. I know that every user has an ethos score. And so that should be my indication that like something is wrong and it's thinking about things in the wrong way. It's so confident that it thinks people don't have scores that it's like, yeah, whatever, no one has a score. So what I'm going to say, like, it's like the system is working perfectly. And you're like, oh, bro, it's not working perfectly. I know for a fact that these users have scores. I can verify it myself by clicking into their profile and looking at their profile and ethos. I might even say like, hey, an example, like here's how you were wrong, cursor. Here's an example where they have a score. Oh, and we're even looking at, we're showing it right here of 1737. Of 1737. You are showing us that scored correctly here. Attaching the image, I took a screenshot. Can you please use the same way to pull the score on the individual user? I'm like typing and I don't even give a shit. To pull the score on the individual user, but on the leaderboard page instead. How can we decrease the score? I don't know, man. You tell me, you got ideas? Like, how do we make it less interesting? I mean, it's really hard. This person has a high R for R score in this example. 353 received reviews, 335 that they wrote back. Like, this person is undoubtedly reviewing people back as much as they're being reviewed. Again, there's nuance to that statement. On its own, it doesn't mean anything. In volume and mass, whenever you have 105 of them within 30 minutes, when you've written 15 reviews a day, like that's when it starts to look more like review for review. And so again, like I don't really know. Like I would argue that this is a really good example of someone that is really deep in R for R. The thing that people are missing and what I'm really trying to drive home is like that doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean that R for R is bad. You use that judgment. You use the judgment if you think R for R is bad. I think personally that their score might be a little inflated by doing R for R. When I go look at them in Ethos, like this is just me, my individual, like 348 reviews. Like that is more than the vast majority of people on the platform. Like there is no way that this person didn't ask people to review them. And again, that's not my judgment to make of like, oh, this is good or bad. That's just how it's happening. Like people are doing that. Some people lean into it really well. Some people lean out of it. There is a lot of like we were really trying to drive quantitative sentiment through a score, and we are trying to learn as much as we can by looking at some of the qualitative sides too. This guy hasn't written a review in 10 days, and then it's been a month since then. And it looks like, yeah, he's not really doing much on the platform at all. He's getting a bunch of reviews for him, but he's not writing them back. Yeah, someone says, are you using any MCPs? I'm not right now. The only one I've ever used is the Neon one. I'm using Neon as my database, and the Neon MCP will allow Cursor to get more context basically from Neon, and it can even run queries in Neon, which is really helpful. What I have found though is Cursor is pretty good at like, going a little bit dev speak here, Cursor is pretty good at being like, I don't need the database, I'll just write an API for myself. And so like in that example of that MCP being like a way to connect different parts of your product tech, your tech stack or context for your for Cursor, just loading more context so it understands more. It really doesn't need the database MCP, I would say, at least from what I've observed, unless it's trying to do some crazy queries. Yeah, so I'm starting to sense, to be honest, that we're going down this path of like, it's kind of like I'm a little bit unsure of like how to fix this thing. Well, it says that it does. I see the issue. The individual profiles page is successfully doing it. On the leaderboard's batch update system isn't working probably due to database connection issues. Okay, so I am getting a little worried because database connection issues, it should not have any issues connecting to the database. But let's see what it does here. Again, like if I were super new and I was really trying to figure out like, okay, that's cool. The vibe coding thing is cool, but you lost me, cursor. Like, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Again, I would just back it up and be like, wait a second. Let's like describe this feature in a different way. Let's just like start over from it. What's funny is that's not super different than real life and building features. Is like sometimes you got to be like, I tried to implement this thing and it didn't quite work out. It's like we got to get back up a little bit and redefine things. Let's see what it does. One of the other things that I wanted to do really badly, and we will try to do it in this live stream, I want to make a network graph. I want to pull in a network graph so that when you're looking at someone's profile, you can see all of the people that they have reviewed and if they've reviewed them back, and then kind of look at like the other profiles that are around them that reviewed them and put little avatars inside. So I'd like to do that, and it shouldn't be too hard. Again, I'm getting a little worried here because we're going down like, I can't connect to the database. Let's see. Apologies, it's way too long, I know, pardon me, but if you get to read this, would love to have your word on this. What word on what? I'm sorry if it's not pulling in your message. I don't see it in StreamYard though. Maybe you just haven't sent it yet. Let's look at some network graphs for React, and see what we could download. There was one that I really wanted to use. I think they call them force direction graphs or something. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Nevo charts was one that we used within. I'm gonna keep this thing going. Again, this is part of the beauty of vibe coding. Just let that thing rip over there. I wanted to add some charts. I'm gonna click into these. I've tried to do the chord diagram before. This network graph is something that I think would be really cool. Where again, we like for the particular user that we're looking at, could we show that user's face in the middle, show all the relationships they have that are like reviews versus review for reviews, and maybe like, sort them by time, like the people that are quick are in the middle and the people that are not quick are on the outer side. We could also do like, we could get really complicated and like start measuring some of the clusters and analyzing how clusters relate with each other, but that does sound pretty difficult. There's all kinds of like really cool data visualization that we could be using here. Like now that we have kind of this API for it, man, it is really struggling over here. Test scripts over here. Damn. Okay, well, let's see what's doing. I might have to reset it. Yeah, my like mental clock goes off when it's like, all right, it's been like 5 minutes of trying to figure stuff out. Like, is this going to work? I'm not confident. Someone says, help me understand, would you use Cursor for developing for Ethos platform in a way that is not vibe coding? Yeah, absolutely. I think our whole team does. When we started building Ethos, like the main AI component that was integrating Cursor was kind of like tab complete. And like the first time you use it's like magic. You like write a bunch of code and then it like predicts what you're going to write. And you're like, how the hell does it do that? That is a very valuable piece of functionality. And we do include we do that sometimes. That was basically like the most minimal usage that we have on Ethos for people using Cursor. I think we've gotten to a point where we use the agent mode a lot more. I even remember agent mode was like September or October last year, and agent mode is what it's doing now. It's just completely doing it on its own. We do use, I think most of the devs are either using agent mode for like small things, or you can like open a chat and be like, hey, the CSS doesn't look right for this, or hey, can you look at my code and make sure this is working correctly? We also we started to add it into like PR reviews and stuff. I think we use CodeRabbit. Even Cursor has one now where it will look at PRs and it'll be like, yeah, this person, like, they have a PR open. What are people saying? Or it basically looks at all the code and says like, here is like things that I may or may not change about it. Man, I'm getting really nervous about my this over here. It's getting lost. So we do use it, but I would not say in the pool. Like, there's like a spectrum kind of. Like, you can go anywhere from like full on vibe coding to like minimal use of AI, and I would say like everyone on our team pretty much is using some form of AI, especially within Cursor. Amelia says, network graph you described will be a nice forensics-esque feature to identify coordinated actions. Yeah, unless it's much static. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like when we do it. Why not check if someone reviewed are actually following them on Twitter? Yeah, agree. $50,000 a month. You want that information? It's $50,000 a month. Thanks, Twitter. For example, if someone did 400 reviews, you could look at what percentage of those users follow them. At $50,000 a month, man. That could be a better way to detect real DD versus farming. Yeah, this is the problem with Twitter and Twitter's API is like it gets really expensive really quickly, and this is something we're even just learning on our team of like, I mean, this is like the bull case for Farcaster. I'm not even a Farcaster bull, but like, all of the information on Farcaster is on chain, observable. It's easy to see. It's easy to go consume. You can do whatever you want with it. When you look at something like Twitter, they've gone from like, their API is completely open, anyone can go use it, to like full on $50,000 a month to figure out who follows who. So got to be careful with it. That is a fully loaded, very senior dev getting paid 600 grand a year for the API. So you better be damn sure that you want that information. And yeah, it's just one of the tough parts about it. I am concerned at this point. We have spent a lot of actions on this, so I'm going to show you how I back things out. I don't know what it is doing. I don't know like what it thinks it's doing, but this is a really good example of like, man, this thing is just lost right now. So I'm going to go scroll back up and show you what it looks like when you're like, okay, yeah, actually, I didn't really care about that feature that much. This was the last prompt that we had where we looked at that, and everyone still showed 0. I'm actually going to just click this. I'm going to, hold on. How do I reset it? Yeah. Continue submitting from a previous message. Yeah, so I'm going to change this message up, and I'm going to say, let's just remove score for now. Because I care about it, but I don't really care that much from the leaderboard. It's not even that cool of a demo. Like, everyone, score. Continue and revert. So I'm going to basically let's go back in time basically and reset everything so that we get to it in a better state. It definitely happens a lot when you're vibe coding. Not a lot, probably like once a day. So it's going to go remove it now. Holy shit, that doesn't look good. This is not our UI. It's just loading stuff. Okay, I do want to find a graph. If you guys have any ideas for graphs other than like this network graph, I'd love to hear it. It should be able to load this network graph pretty easily, so I'm not too worried about implementing it. There's another graph that I really wanted to use called Cosmograph that we tried to do last time. We couldn't quite get it. If you go to Cosmograph, here you go. This is actually what Zeet is using. They had a demo last week. I just want to see a demo. Use an example. Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, this thing is sick, right? Like, holy, it looks like a 3D graph. Like, I feel like I just entered the matrix, honestly, and I might have. This graph is very, very cool. We can basically say, let's load all of our Ethos data into something like this. What's cool about a lot of these graphs is, like, if you're not familiar with programming, there is so many libraries out there for people to leverage. There's existing things that people can use. Cosmograph would be one of those things that we could leverage. All it is really looking for is you just pass Cosmograph your data and it will visualize it. It looks like our product might be in a better state now. Well, I say that, now it's not running. Let's run that bad boy again. Oh, what? Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I just got rid of that. So it still does XP. It's still loading it correctly. Do these people really have 0 XP? I think I'm kind of surprised, but let's just ignore it for now. We'll come back and fix it later. Let's go work on this visualization. If you got a different visualization you want to see. Yesterday, though, I looked it up and it was saying like Cosmograph is not super compatible with what we are doing. It says JavaScript and React. I kind of have an idea what that is. Obviously, I know a little bit, but like, let's just say you don't know anything. Like, I'd like to add a Cosmograph graph on the individual profile pages to show the relationship between different users and their reviews or lack of R for Rs. Each node should be a picture of the person, and each connection relationship should be highlighted between type of review, and then if the review was reciprocated or not. Cosmograph is something I found on the internet. On the internet. On the internet, damn it. I'm just gonna copy this bad boy in here. I'm gonna say send YOLO. Let's see what it does. I loved this would be the most magical thing ever of just like, yeah, it just fucking works. But we tried to do this yesterday on Monday and it didn't quite work. Okay, so it already has been like, yeah, here's what Cosmograph is. Again, if you have any ideas, something you want me to build, ways that you might change the score, just drop it in the chat. I love to just show the magic of building it. Again, if you need it, if you need the app, you can go to ethos-r for r.dino.dev. Drop in there. Of course, it's like broken or something. You guys hitting it too hard. Did it break? Hasn't deployed, so it hasn't changed anything. Just completely foobar. I don't know what's happening there. We're loading Cosmograph. It seems to be confident, but I'm not so confident. But yeah, I would really love to be able to show this off. I just think that's so cool. Like the idea of being able to effectively take each of these nodes, make them people, show the relationship between them as being slightly different. Like I think these are weighted even. They're color coded somehow. It's looking confident. Now I'm worried if I'm even connected to the internet right now. Ethos R for R, Dino dev. It's just completely dead. Nice. Look at you guys, 15.8 requests. Amazing. I'm just gonna pop into the logs real quick and see if I see anything. 3:15. What time is it? Oh, it's 5 minutes ago, so no new logs. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, it's going to add some network graph. If you guys could tell me, like, are you guys able to visit ethosr4r.dino.dev? Is that even the right site? Am I being stupid here? Let's go to this other one, other hosted version. No, it's dead. It died. Rip. Are you sure you can showcase that with the graph? No. We'll see. By the way, I have seen that people are no questions in Time Fund, but I saw a couple tips in Time Fund, so appreciate that. I'll go to charity, which is super cool. All right, as we go through this crazy attempt to make a cool graph, someone says how hard it would be to build out a simple portfolio building simulation with portfolio value visualization over time, where you can select some of the assets, run some simulations over a preset time period. I mean, that sounds difficult, but not impossible. There are a lot of tools out there and APIs that I would think of first when it comes to like portfolio management stuff. DBank has a really good API. Right? Did they change their logo? I'm expecting it to be orange for some reason. If you're not, oh, weird. Just show me dbank.com. If you go to dbank, one of the things that they do is they're pretty good at like the portfolio management stuff, and their APIs are phenomenal at like pulling in data over like I just want to look at someone's portfolio over like every EVM possible. Like who the hell has money in Sonic? I have no idea, but this guy does. He's got 87% of his portfolio. You could probably use something like this. Oh, are we failing again? We're having issues over here. Oh, it's just an import. But this is what it was getting stuck on yesterday. I'm worried again. You could probably use their API to pull some of that stuff in. I think there's a lot of really cool things that you can do even though you don't know how to do them, which sounds so stupid. Like, why would I say that? But it's true. Like, my brain doesn't know how to go build that, but Cursor would know how to build that. I've had Cursor, like, one of the things that I was thinking about the other day that would be so easy to do is like, you could make a Solana meme coin trading bot. You could make a Solana pump fund trading bot with Cursor. If you were like, I want to buy 0.1 Solana of every coin that bonded, and just ask Cursor, how do I like listen for an event of it bonding? How do I buy it directly after it bonds? Cursor would be able to help you out with that. It would either direct you at the right API and tell you, oh, you got to go buy this service to listen to these things. It would even help you like simulate it, at least on Ethereum with testnet. And so like we're really talking within this like narrow box because run Ethos. Like the whole point is we were talking about Ethos, trying to build stuff for Ethos, man. But there are I was shocked at how well it could do something like that. I was shocked. Even like Mev, you're like, I want to build a Mev bottom base that does, X, Y, or Z. Like you would be shocked at like, even with your shallow understanding of how that works, its ability to go build something. Okay, so what I wanted to show was, let's see. Not GitHub. Oh, yeah, it said it was done. Okay. I have no confidence in this. But if it works, it's going to be so magical. So please, Serpent. No. We got to choose someone simpler. Someone without as many reviews. Let's do like someone with like way less reciprocal reviews. Like a name that I recognize, maybe. We'll do Dragos's. Come on, fingers crossed. Where's my graph? Damn it. It didn't work. Okay, so failed to load network visualization. It would have been so good. Why, man? Why? Let's load this thing in. I'm going to open up the console, which is very common whenever you have issues and you're like, wait a second, what happened? I just right click, inspect, go into the console here. I'm looking at this console now, and it does, Cursor is automatically going to write a lot of logs to the console. You probably wouldn't want to ship it with this in theory. You want to keep your console log spam pretty low. I can see the error here where it's talking about initializing Cosmograph. I want to say this is the error that we ran into on Monday, but I'm not sure. So I'm literally just going to take a screenshot of this, and I'm going to be like, it did not work. Again, like, you don't need to be over the top. You don't need to be like, I analyzed all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And like, I know it's this. It's just like, it didn't work. And so then you're like, okay, I see the issue. On click is not a function. Maybe the API is different than when I said. I feel like we had this before. So I'm a little bit worried again. We might go back to Nevo graphs instead. Yeah, thanks for showing up, Mega, for the stream. I'm probably gonna, after we, I would like to like actually get this graph working because it would be really nice. We'll get some graph working and we'll call it a stream. let's see. Spoiler. Last time we heard we might be able to review in our native languages, but wouldn't be too much work to know about AI slops in multiple languages, as it will increase burden more, isn't it? I don't. Are the reviews coming in weird? Or, I mean, no, the messages coming in weird. So one of the things that's really cool about Ethos that people don't even realize, like if I go back to like maybe not Dragos, but like someone that is writing, let's just like look at the latest. Damn, it's looking red up here. What's going on? One of the, come on, give me something that's not in English, damn it. Here you go. One of the things not a lot of people realize is these reviews are not always in English. We automatically translate for you, which is super cool. Let me get rid of that. And translating for you goes a long way in terms of building context. Yeah, this is Vietnamese. And so it's cool to see that like people are able to write things in Vietnamese. It does add some complexity. Do I think that this is AI slop? Well, I mean, translated to English, nothing can fully describe what Cat Q has given to me in particular. From a newcomer to the Web3 world, he's been extremely dedicated, contributing his knowledge. I mean, I'm not looking for AI slop. I'm looking for authenticity, right? They probably used AI to write this, is what I would say. I can't say that definitively. I can't make a judgment on that. And translating it makes it difficult. So like it's tough. We live the other thing that I will say to people is like we live in an AI world now. Like it's time to embrace it. Like we have to understand that AI is a part, it's going to happen, especially in like projects that people are, trying to show activity in. It's going to be even more AI related farming than ever. This is why Ethos is designed. This looks like we're getting closer for here. This is why Ethos is designed in the way that it is, right? Like we are trying to build a product that has economic security around vouchers. Vouchers, putting your money behind what you say, having skin in the game, that becomes way more meaningful. And so in a world where like we might have 500,000 reviews of people just throwing slop at each other, that isn't as meaningful as having skin in the game and putting your money behind. It's not spending money. Like vouching it's staking your ETH in someone else. I just think that the answer is in the mechanism design already, but it is going to be hard to get through some of the AI stuff in the meantime. Let me go pull up Dragos's. It seems to be confident again. Let's see what happened. It says it has Cosmograph. If it has Cosmograph, I am going to be ecstatic. I don't know that it's going to, but let's try it out. Let's pick out someone that has a little bit lower score. Damn, look at all that XP Dragos has. Please load, please load, please load. Oh my God. Holy shit, it did it. Look at this. It's a graph. I don't know what it doesn't tell us anything yet. It's a graph though. It's so cool. Okay. So one of the things that we're going somewhere with this now. It's sick. One of the things that I noticed is it's pulling in user keys, which user keys are like how we identify things in Ethos. And it actually does have force directiveness, which is super cool. Like, I mean, sorry, not force. It has colors and the direction they're going. So let's just like make some simple adjustments, right? I noticed that all of the nodes are using address, service, user key from Ethos. Can we convert those into the user's Twitter address and just show their handle? Also, I'd like to show their Twitter profile pic on the circles. The other thing I noticed real quick, and if you guys notice anything either, the other thing I notice is that the clustering is very close. Can we spread these out a bit? And yeah, I don't know if that's actually instruction or not, because I don't know why they're close, very close and tight and hard to see. Can we spread them out a bit? So I'm just going to send it a screenshot and some of these examples. I'm not really going to be able to play with it. Let's look at Adams real quick. That was pretty fucking cool, man. I'm impressed with cursor right now. I'm going to make this wider so we can like look. Oh, shit. But the idea should be that, oh, it links to that profile. That's cool. Okay, this graph's gonna get even cooler. Let me look at some of the chat real quick. Do you feel like vibe coding has the dopamine loop of gambling? Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, this is why I keep talking about like it's writing. It's the best video game of all time. That's why I'm like, you should go do it. Just go write something. Go download Cursor right now and try something out. It doesn't have to be ethos related. I'd love for it to be ethos related. I would love to work with you on ethos related stuff, but go play around with it. It's like Sim City. It's like The Sims. It's a simulation, right? I know people that are way more on coding. It's like Factorio kind of thing. It is a builder product, and but it's like the canvas is literally anything. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. So this is why I think it has a dopamine effect. Is like literally what I just witnessed is like you're sitting there and you're like, it's cool. Like, I've been yapping a lot on this, and we've had some cool like moments, but like that's fucking crazy. In 2 prompts, I went from like, here is a website with some cool graphs to like, here is a almost potentially completely functional version of that graph. Like that's cool. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Okay, let's see if it's starting to. So, like, yeah, I mean, what's cool is it is loading in all the context about Cosmograph. I don't know anything about Cosmograph. I don't know how to use it. It looks like it's already happy. It's using Twitter handles now. It's using profile pictures. All right, can we get another cool like aha moment? Again, let's find like someone just a little bit less in their graph. Let's look at our bro Crypto John Don. Oh, we got like a vortex graph now. Okay, sick. So, it's not looking. Look, it even puts Cosmograph down there. It's not looking like incredibly. Oh, look, it even put this thing at the bottom. Positive reviews are green. What is central? Oh, so blue user is the main user. Ah, fuck. Sorry, I didn't get my picture that I wanted yet. Let's look at this guy. Wow, these are cool. Why did it make it like it's like a hurricane? Like you're gonna get attacked by this thing. We gotta have the pictures. Everything is visual. But okay, so blue is the central user, the user that we're looking at. Green is people they reciprocated yet with, and then gray is who they have one-way reviewed. Okay, so there's 2 things that I want to do. Can we cluster a few things. I see the mention names for the users, but not the profile pics yet. Can we triple check that? I'd love if you guys have comments on how to improve this. Can we group the common the reciprocal reviews together and separate from the one-way reviews as to show where most of the volume is more easily. And let's just roll with that. I mean, that's sick. Like, it's not like the perfect, like, most actionable insight yet. You can't really drag them around or anything. What's cool now is I could also go back to Cosmograph and be like, wait, okay, what about Cosmograph do I like? Is it that you can click on things and I can see the ones that are related node-wise? If we go to, let's see, examples again, like a synthetic grid, damn. Like, yeah, like the Silk Road one was pretty good, if I remember correctly. God damn it. Where was I? have more viewers than Blockworks permissionless right now. It's pretty sweet. Sorry, Blockworks. If you zoom in here, like some of these things, this is doing this the other day. I'm just gonna pause it, but you can kind of see like this is meant to show Silk Road and like who the main wallet address is and where money was coming from. And you know, a similar kind of concept that we have of like you've got users that are very distant, these at wallet addresses that are very distant, and I think this is showing that like these have interacted with one another. Yeah, so like this cluster of people have interacted with one another and are identified in the Silk Road. Like it's interesting because they're not interacting with the normal node, but like, you know, the main node that everyone goes back to is this address, which is the Silk Road address. And you can kind of see how like if you look at some of these addresses, like okay, it worked. He really only interacted once with the main node. Like this user interacted with this user and then this user, and then you can zoom out and you're like, wait, this person is further away. Maybe it's time based. I don't know what it is, but then you get like these crazy clusters of people. And if you remember friend tech, like one of the things on Parsec that they had that was really cool that Parsec implemented was these node graphs of like how people interacted with each other. And man, the symbols were like super obvious. It was just so easy to see who was sibling friend tech because they looked like this. It was like they invited 10 people, they invited 50 people, and they all owned each other's keys. And like, so like if you were basically like your density, no, your distance from like the center node was very, very far, and you had very close proximity to a bunch of other users, then that is a higher tell than like something like review for review. And so we're on this journey on Ethos to like better understand like are people Sybil attacking it? Are people trying to quote unquote farm it through review for review? And there are lots of like now we have so much data. I mean, crazy amounts of data. If you go look at like let's go look at the latest review. How many reviews do we have? Ethos as it stands today is 154 days old. And we have 235,000 reviews. So there's so much data that we can look at now. I think it's like 26,000 people that have reviewed or vouched for each other, have been reviewed or vouched for. We can create stuff like this, and then you start looking into it, and you're like, oh yeah, there's this guy over here. Okay, let's go back to the oh yeah, that guy over there, he's looking like a little bit of a cluster, and oh whoa, what have I created? It's very zoomed out. Man, it's still not getting the profile pictures though. Why is that? I'm gonna ask it one more time because that'll be the real like clear indication. Why is it moving around too? It's like Agario. I'm still not seeing their profile pictures. We load this in on every page just using the standard Twitter URL. Any reason we're not seeing it? Yeah. Man, that's the last thing I want to do. It's the last building block. So, and then we'll call it a day. I heard the more thought out and planning. I find that the more thought out and planning stages, and then how aligning rules are in the fine the project has helped me vibe coding sessions a lot. I've heard a lot of people say that too. That's not how my brain works. My brain is very like, I have an idea. Let's just fucking start here. And I mean, that is kind of how we operate as a company too. I'm not a big like, I'm gonna like plan everything out. And maybe that like limits how big and how good some of my like vibe coding stuff can get. I'm very much a like, yeah, let's just get one thing out there, build on top of that, and keep going. And so like you can see my brain completely fixated on this thing right now. And like I can't even think about anything else. I could be thinking about, oh yeah, but like what are the other things we could be doing? Or architecturally, you should do this. We should cache things. And I'm just like very much in this like just get to that next step. So I know this works really well for a lot of people though. I've heard people even just to pull it up again. I've heard people that will like take basically like write a product spec and give it all the context occur for the start. And like you could just literally use OpenAI to do that if you wanted to. and pass it over to Cursor, and then now it has all the context. So but I have heard also that Cursor will lose context. So like now that we're like 50 requests in, it doesn't remember all the stuff from earlier. But yeah, okay, wait a second. What did it do? What was that? There was one picture on there. What the hell? Who is this one picture? I don't. What did it do? Profile pictures weren't showing up. Here's what I fixed. I was trying to use this. I removed the API call, improve the network graphing. The profile picture overlay system is now correctly implemented, but since Cosmograph doesn't provide node screen positions directly, the profile picture will stay initially centered. That's exactly what happens. To get them to properly position, we would need to track node positions. Okay, so basically we can't do it. Fine, that's boring. I think this is probably good enough. Okay, okay, let's remove it since that loading it wasn't that helpful. It's loading it wasn't that helpful. Yeah, that's really funny that it just kind of loaded it there. So it's not necessarily complete. There's a lot of things that we could still do on it. It's not necessarily super insightful yet. I would like to click around a little bit and see what it looks like for some of the bigger nodes. But again, if you have any ideas or things you want me to sneak in here at the end, go for it. Go to chat mode and ask him which graph would represent the data you want the best. That's a great idea. That's the last thing we'll do. I like these types of concepts because it's like, I don't know, man. Like you tell me. Like sometimes you do this algorithms. You're like, I think this would be a good R for R score. I have no idea. Just let's let it rip and see if it works or not. So that could be something that we take a look at and try out. By the way, is the profile analyzer not working for normal users right now? I think it's not. I asked people if it was working for them, and I think most people said that it wasn't. Yeah, it should be under Dino dash. Oh, I did change it. Ethos R for R Dino dev. Oh, it's working now. It does not have any of the changes, by the way, because I haven't. Oh, it does. No, this is localhost. What am I saying? Yeah, no, that site's still borked right now. I have to go fix it after the stream. Okay. So it says that it fixed some of the stuff and cleaned it up. Let's look at someone let's look at Ethos real quick. I'm gonna give it one more prompt and then we're gonna call it a day. So we've got Ethos Network, which has given 0 reviews and has only received 500. So obviously it's 0%. That didn't generate my graph. What the heck? Oh, wait, this is still loading. Where's my graph, man? What happened? Did it just get rid of it altogether? We were just looking at this on this person's profile, right? Pottermore. What did I break, man? We'll just go back. Let's just go back to. This is the beauty of it, where you're like, yeah, that didn't work. Let's just go back to here, and I'm just going to say, man, there's a button. I don't know what I'm missing. There's a way to just reset it to here. Yeah, okay, let's see. I'm just gonna ask it, can we group reciprocal reviews on the charts? And I'll continue and revert it here, and we'll just try to clean that back up. Damn it. But now I saw R for R, Dino, R for R, Dino. This is the old one. Ethos R for R dot Dino dot dev. That's the site. What are you doing? We can't end it on a sad note. We gotta get this thing together, man. I'm sorry I left that comment up for too long. Is anyone in yeah, I mean, just if you have any other ideas or quick things you might want to see me do, I want to make some more magic happen. Hopefully this pulls me back up and gets me cleaned up real quick. It looks like it wants to work. I wonder if are you guys like just slamming that? It's getting hit. No? Looks pretty normal. Maybe it's my internet. I'm like streaming and it's like, yeah, not get wrecked, bro. You can't do that. Um Please load. Yeah, so one of the last things that I was going to cover is just this concept that like going to the chat mode and asking it what its feedback is or what its own advice is can be a really strong way to build something interesting. Um, it it I have found that like OpenAI can often be more creative than you can be, which is good. It also knows way more about algorithms. It knows way more about how to implement stuff. It is observing so many different things and patterns and behaviors that came before you that it can be always really powerful way to kind of just like grow context. And apply that context to whatever you're trying to do. All right, it says that it's working now. Let's go back and look at my profile. Or we'll look at Cirx, who seems to be loading every time. Loading network. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we're back. So it's loading correctly. Seems like it's meant to be grouping those. This is cool. I'm excited to get this shipped and so that people can go see it and play with it. Yeah, he only has one like mutually positive, mutually reciprocated. I just wanted to look at one more while we do it. Ah, I should fix that part. I don't know what it's doing. We'll look at Clemente's. I don't know why Clemente shows up when I do it. Yeah, so like here's it. Wow, that's interesting. I don't really know what this is showing other than like he has a lot of people that have reviewed him. Like there's obviously a lot of ways that we can improve this, but you can see these tiny little green arrows going back. What is this like yellow one? Oh, that's stupid. Um, anyways, okay. So the last thing I will tell it to do before we close here is I'm gonna say like, given the data set that we have and your understanding of the strengths of Cosmograph, how would you improve these graphs? Or to represent the data we have best. I love this one. There's a tiny chance that it's just like, I don't know, man, and it quits on us or something. But I'll be interested to see exactly what it comes up with. Several opportunities to create a much more insightful and powerful visualization. Okay, let's see. Again, like I think something more like the Silk Road one would be cool. Comprehensive network improvements. Okay, so it's just proposing it. It's not. Oh no, it is implementing it. Rich user profile. Oh my god. Timestamps. You gonna add this to the graphs, man? I don't know. I don't know about where it's going with this one, to be honest. GPU accelerated performance. Instead of showing direct connections, create a multi-dimensional network. I think it would be cool to see that. So let's see what it does with that and roll with it. Anyone have anything else in the chat? I still haven't had any comments in Time Fund. You guys got some comments over there, man. And I know that Time Fund is working on the ability to stream natively there and actually pull people up and bring people up on stage, which is super cool. So I'd love to be able to do that eventually through buying time and stuff. What else is going on with Ethos right now? No one has used the anon review thing in a while, so that's also a really good reason why I think we like to ship things and build things in increments. Is like it's always really helpful to get a good idea of like, oh, this person like these people are requesting this. We want to go like build this functionality. I don't want to like commit engineering resources to it. I don't want to like spend all of our time building it. So what we'll do is we'll just like go prototype it. And again, that's what I've noticed these things being really good for, is this concept of just prototyping stuff. And how do you get to a point where you can spin something like this up really quickly? And to be clear, I'm talking about anon Ethos, not network. How can we spin something up really quickly? Yeah, I think it's my connection. And get to a point, or Dino's down or something crazy. How do we get to a point where we can just test things out really quickly? How do we get to a point where we can understand exactly how someone might use something, what value they would get for it, how often do they use it? And again, when I look at something like anon Ethos, not network, it has been pretty interesting to see. We haven't really displayed it in the product yet, but with it existing, people aren't super interested in it. I don't know why. It created a bunch of controversy. All right, so what is it trying to do? Instead of network direct connections, it's doing a multi-dimensional network. All right, let's see what you got. Enhanced version. Oh, did it do it? It did something. Let's try it again. Oh, no, 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 no. What happened, man? Where's my code? Oh, it's not actually loading. So yeah, this is another good thing that sometimes happens. It looks like when I went to run Dino, I'm having an error. Another important thing to do is again, we have no idea what the error is. If you look at everything within cursor, it knows the context of things within cursor. So it can see these. I don't have to take a screenshot or anything. It can just run this command itself. And so it's kind of cool to see, you can definitely watch a lot of these things getting built out. If you look at, if you really care about it, you can go look at something. Oh, the sharing thing. That was the other one that I wanted to do, but we never got to it. I'm not LARPing about the code that we have. Like, you can see the code. This is all TypeScript that's getting written. You've got front end stuff here, like the network graph that it's working on. If you were using just pure vibe code, you could just actually go in here and say, actually touch the code a little bit. But I really like to show off the fact that you don't have to touch the code at all. Man, I really don't want to get into this terrible loop. It says that it has an idea of how to fix it. I think what else? Yeah, I mean, the other thing I was going to talk about a little bit, and the last thing that we'll do after we get this working is, we talked about it last time, but I use Dino to deploy stuff. You'll see it in the URLs and stuff. It all connects in with GitHub. So whenever I actually push the code and I say, all right, I'm ready, go deploy the code, it will know to push it to GitHub, and then that GitHub will push it into Dino deploy. And so that makes it really easy to deploy stuff. And then you could just send anyone this link. Obviously, if you're doing it locally, you can't send someone localhost :8000. Oh man. All right. I'm going to stop it here because I'm worried that it went off. We gave it too abstract of an idea to go down. So, I mean, yeah, it's tempting to let it keep going, but I think it was a good idea. But again, this is a good example of sometimes it can just get to the point where it's doing things a little bit, it's going a little bit too far. I don't want to end on a completely sour note though, so let's give it something really easy to work on. I wanted to change the social settings so that when you share things, it actually, let's just say when we share specific links to profiles, I'd like to have meta tags that explain the profile that you're looking at, and that are specific to the user. So I'm going to push it. Oh, stop this. I want to go back up here so I can reset it a little bit. We'll go back up here. We'll put it in this message. We'll revert everything and get back to a normal state. The shareability of things is something that I found really important. And whenever you take something like an Ethos review, if you've ever put it into let's take this person's Ethos review from 14 seconds ago. Open graph tester. Whenever you go to like share stuff, what you'll notice with like ethos tags is sometimes you'll have something as simple as like the text in the description, but if you put it on like Facebook and you put it on excuse me, X or LinkedIn, or in Discord, you'll see we actually like include images. And this is one of our like kind of growthy, hacky type things that allows people to really it gives people like a little bit more reason to click stuff. And so I thought that was one thing that we could add that would be very, very easy to do. We're going to just add this for that here. What I have found, and this is from like years of experience working on this type of stuff, is when you share links, you really do want them to have a little bit of extra detail to them, especially on Twitter. And so now we just like wrap it up by having a quick open graph tag thing, so that whenever we type in and share links to people, it will have something that looks nice. God, every time I do that, it goes to cert. So if I just inspect here, my network graph is working down there. If I go to elements, oh Lord. Yeah, you can see we've got some meta tags in here now that explain, hey, this is the cert guy's profile. And when I share this in Discord, it's just going to look a little bit better. People are going to be more likely to click it. If I share it on Twitter, I'd like to add the image. We haven't added that image yet. That could be a really easy improvement. But yeah, I mean, things are looking good. I'm pretty happy with where we vibe coded. I do feel like we're getting to kind of a limit on this this app. So next time we might decide to go build something a little bit different. We could build something that actually interacts and engages on chain, writes reviews itself. We could go a lot further. I feel like we were a little light on the vibe coding today and didn't get to show all the magic that I really wanted to show. But it is cool to see all of this. I'm going to now say, great. Can you now commit this to Git and push it to Dino that way? And everyone's going to get this update of being able to see this stuff, which is super cool. Again, my whole intent with everything that we have tried to do so far is allow people to understand that like you don't really need to know how to do any of this stuff to vibe code. That vibe coding is absolutely it's easy. If you can direct something at a task, you will have success in finding ways to create something without having designs, without having any understanding of coding, without having any understanding of how an API works or how to get data out of something else. So I would absolutely recommend that everyone go download Cursor. I don't know about Claude Code yet. I can't recommend it personally. Let's make sure and go see if we're getting a build coming through here or not. Let's see. Deployments. Here it goes. Yeah, we got a build coming through. So this will be the latest code. I haven't pushed code since 2:30 in the morning last night. I just would highly recommend that everyone goes and does this and plays around with it. Like you should not feel like there's any barrier of entry now to why can't you create your own code, or why can't you create your own app? Like you wanted to do iOS app, it would help you do an iOS app. You wanted to build a trading bot, it will help you with a trading bot. I mean, you can literally start from zero and go really, really far with it. So don't be afraid to give it a try. You will be happy with like the results that you have. Let me see if it, there you go, build looks. Here it goes. You'll be happy with like your ability to actually build something. And I do think it's closest to like playing a video game at the end of the day. I think it's something that can become really powerful, addicting. It has kind of the like, pull you in. Like you get to that aha moment and you're like, yeah, this is 100% worth it. I would say the stuff that we vibe coded today, I could have probably done in like 20 minutes instead of 2 hours. But that's just kind of how it goes. I wanted to get to a point where it actually like deployed it and you could see it. I don't know if we'll totally get there because sometimes deploying is slow. If you got any last minute questions you want to sneak in, feel free to drop it in the chat. Oh, here we go. Out of the 5+ X spaces I tune into on a daily basis is hands down the best one today. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know how I'm doing, so I need the feedback for sure. Now, again, it's like twofold thing that I'm trying to accomplish, helping people learn how to vibe code, but also helping people understand Ethos, how I think about Ethos, how I think about some of the data that we've created with Ethos. And it's very cool to be able to like kind of promote this concept of vibe coding, help people understand that you can do it while also driving some traffic and interest back into Ethos itself. Man, where's my like aha moment here? Get out there, man. We need to get this thing deployed. We got to show people how it works. If you have any more feedback, though, I'd really like to get some more feedback on the score itself. That's something that I can go back and refine a little bit myself. I'd go try the different types of like network visualizations and see if you think it's helpful or not. You know, this is not an endorsement or something that we've built collectively as a team that says like, oh, this person is absolutely doing R for R. All right, this is not going to work. But it's a fun way to kind of pull things together. I want to think of something else that's going to be really fun to do next time. So if you've got something, make sure you join our Discord. Our Discord talks about stuff like this all the time. We want to empower builders. We want to help people see the vision and how to participate and build things on Ethos. We have this crazy amount of data now that anyone can go build on. So let me know what you think. Thanks for joining today. That's really all that I've got. I will get this thing published soon, and I'll upload this recording to YouTube too, so you can watch it if you missed any part of it. But appreciate everyone for showing up today. It's been a hell of a turnout, so very excited about that. Thanks, guys.